The top stories for the hour. Rallies call for peace in the state of Amhara. Saudi Arabia investors implore to the world to learn from Ethiopia's best coffee growing practice. Welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. I am Magdala Isayum with the daily updates. And now moving on. The Bounty of Basket initiative is providing essential in Ethiopia quest for food self-sufficiency and enhanced nutrition, both at the household and national level, according to the Office of the Prime Minister. Launched in 2022 by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, this comprehensive 4-year program aims to boost the production and productivity of key agricultural commodities, including dairy product, egg, poultry, honey and fish. To reach its ambitious objective, the initiative emphasizes not only large-scale production but also significant household-level interventions. This includes promoting backyard poultry farming, encouraging small-scale fish farms and supporting beekeeping activities. The Prime Minister Office asserts that these localized efforts are crucial for fostering a sustainable food system and improving overall nutritional standards across the country. Thousands of people in various cities and towns of Amhara region of Ethiopia have staged rallies in support of the government's peace call in the region. In the early hours of this morning, several cities, including the regional capital Bahar Dar, as well as other major cities like Debre Marcos, Desse, Kombolcha, Sakota, Debre Tabor, and other many places witnessed widespread public rallies calling for immediate peace by ending the ongoing conflict. These gatherings brought together a diverse cross-section of the community, including religious leaders, educators, elders, children and women, and many other sections of the people. Ethiopia's industrial parks are emerging as vital engines of economic growth, yet a new study emphasizes that prioritizing workers' welfare, particularly for women, is essential for attracting and retaining foreign investment. This research offers vital insight into fostering a sustainable future for one of the nation's most critical sector. The following comprehensive report by our staff reporter, Johannes Vantaun, sheds light on the matter.
Ethiopia's industrial parks are attracting significant foreign investment, driving job creation and economic development. To maintain this momentum, it is crucial that the welfare of workers, particularly the large number of women employed in these parks, is prioritized. A new study by the Policy Studies Institute and the Christian Michelsen Institute examines the situation of women factory workers, offering recommendations for positive change. An expert from Christian Michelsen Institute highlighted that a failure to adequately address worker welfare could negatively impact investor confidence and lead to a loss of valuable foreign investments. He emphasized that creating a supportive and fair environment for all workers is not merely an ethical imperative, but a sound economic strategy for long-term sustainable development.
So when it comes to the welfare of the women workers, if the factories abide by the labor laws and the regulations, this would improve the well-being of the women workers a lot. So, and this is not something that will scare away the investors. So these are just the basics of having managers that are not shouting, allowing workers to have toilet breaks, and just basic regulations of the work life. And I think implementing the policies and regulations that is already in place in Ethiopia would improve the situation a lot.
The study made specific recommendations including better wage structure, improved working conditions and child care support. These recommendations, if implemented, would not only enhance the well-being of the female workers, but also attract investment and assure investors that Ethiopia is committed to building sustainable and ethical industrial sectors.
And there's no need to be concerned that the investors would go to other countries because of that type of regulation. And then we also find that in areas where there are few other job opportunities, this has a poverty-reducing effect. And of course, with that many young people entering into the labor force every year in Ethiopia, it is very important to create jobs. So even if one can be a bit disappointed about the low salaries, we still see that many women are attracted to these jobs, and it is still an important task to work to increase the salaries for this group. I think those are the main recommendations from our study.
Ethiopia, the birthplace of coffee and a global powerhouse in production, stands as Africa's largest coffee producer and the world's fifth largest overall, with the beloved beverage driving 30 to 35% of its export earning. This rich tradition, rooted in centuries of cultivation, sees Ethiopia responsible for about 17% of the global coffee market. Recently, Saudi Arabian delegates visited Ethiopia coffee growers to exchange best practices, highlighting the shared landscapes and agricultural insights between the two nations. Delegate Hassan Al-Huamil emphasized the value of this collaboration, saying it offers unique opportunities to learn from Ethiopia's renowned farmers. Tune in to the following report by Tegister Nessa, which unpacks the details.
Tell us a little bit about your visit here in Ethiopia.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us today. This visit was organized by the Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, we have a program called the Sustainable Rural Agricultural Development Program. This program targets 8 agricultural sectors. One of those 8 sectors is the coffee farming. You see, coffee farming is practiced in Saudi Arabia for hundreds of years, although the land suitable for growing coffee is not that big. So we cannot sustain even 10% of our consumption. So Saudi Arabia is planning to develop this sector and to help the small farmers who are planting coffee in Saudi Arabia. However, I think this will not affect the importation of coffee from Ethiopia, by Saudi Arabia from Ethiopia. According to the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority, Saudi Arabia is the largest importer of Ethiopian coffee. Last year we have imported approximately 72,000 metric tons, and I think this number will still increase in the future. And the Ethiopian coffee is preferred by the Saudi consumers. So this program, the Sustainable Rural Agricultural Development Program, has a strategic partner who is the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. So the FAO office in Saudi Arabia contacted the FAO office in Ethiopia, and FAO office in Ethiopia arranged this visit for Us, we are a team of 8 people composed of the Ministry of Agriculture Extension team, together with one of our colleagues from FAO Saudi Arabia and also 2 of the coffee farmers. You see, Ethiopia, I think, is not the largest exporter of coffees in the world. However, if you compare Ethiopia to Brazil, for example, we think that Ethiopia is closer to the ecological and environmental aspects of the Saudi coffee. We are adjacent to Ethiopia. We have almost similar varieties, similar or almost similar environment, and also more than that, similar farming system. The Saudi coffee growers have very small land, almost like the Ethiopian coffee growers. And the coffee is collected by cooperatives, then sold to the market.
You have been to Yirga Cafe, and since Ethiopia is the 5th largest coffee exporter in the world, what have you observed so far?
First of all, we have met the government people to know the regulations done by the government to control the coffee growing practices and I mean the varieties that are grown, how are they selected, how do the research center works by collecting the germplasm. I think they told us that they have almost 5,000 land races of coffee that are grown in Ethiopia. All those have been collected in germplasm fields scattered around the country. And from those germplasm, they have selected, I think, 49 varieties to be used by the farmers. So we have seen how this system is done, because we want to do the same also in Saudi Arabia. After that, we have seen the agribusiness. What is the role of the Coffee and Tea Authority? What is the role of the farmers' cooperatives? We have seen also how do the cooperatives benefit the Ethiopian farming community. How are the farmers and the farmers' families are working in the same cooperative. So the cooperatives is buying the produce from the farmers and also helping to get job opportunities for the farmers' families.
That's all we had for today's update, but before I go, let's have a recap of the top stories once again. Rallies call for peace in the state of Amhara. And Saudi Arabia investors implore the world to learn from Ethiopia's best coffee growing practice. Thank you for tuning in to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. It was me, Magdalena Ising, with the daily updates. Goodbye.